Today you will learn to create 2D and 3D shapes using their attributes. Let's review. Remember, attributes are the way we describe our shapes, how many angles they have, and how many sides they have. You're going to need to have your pencil and ruler ready.
And we'll get started. Okay, so let's go back and we're going to read and we're going to be counting our sides and counting our corners before we start drawing them on our own. So as I said before, this shape right here, this is a hexagon. Hexagons have blank sides and blank corners. Let's count them first. You're going to start at your top. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So on your blank, write the number 6. And then we're going to count the corners. And remember, Ms. Radzuski told you that corners are the same thing as angles. So let's count where our two sides meet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, write the number 6 on our blank. We have 6 sides and 6 corners. So before we try and draw it on our own, let's practice tracing it to get a good feel of what this shape should look like. We're going to start at the top, and we're going to trace along the top, stopping at our corner or our angle, angling down, stopping, angling down to the bottom, stopping, across the bottom, and now we're going to angle up to meet at the top. So we'll angle it out this way and angle it back up to the top. This is going to be a more difficult shape to draw, so if it doesn't look perfect, that's fine. We're not looking for perfection, we're just looking for you to make sure you have 6 sides, 6 corners, and that they're straight lines. So, get out your ruler, we're heading over to our side and we're going to start drawing this. I think the easiest way is to start at the top. So go ahead and put your ruler at the top, just like mine, and you're going to draw one straight line across the top. Now we're going to angle down over here. So start your line at your corner right here and angle down just a little bit. And I think that we should draw the opposite side just to make sure our angles are even and we'll be able to meet in the middle. So just like you angled it on the right hand side down, you're going to angle it on the left hand side down. And try to eyeball it as close as you can get it in the middle. Now we're going to go back to the right, start at your point where you left off, and you're going to angle it inward now. Trying to make sure that you eyeball it and line up to the top corner here. Now taking it back over to your left hand side, start at that point where you left off, you're going to angle it in, trying to match it up down here where you left your top point at. And now we're going to draw our line at the bottom to connect those 2 points. Now, like I said before, this one's a little bit more difficult. Your angles or your sides might be a little bit off. That's okay. As long as you have 6 sides and 6 corners with a straight line, you're good to go. All right, finish that one up. And we'll move on to the next one. We are actually moving on to the 3D shapes now. If you think the hexagon was hard, wait till you see this one. All right. We have some 3D shapes now. Our first 3D shape that we have is known as a cube. Cubes have blank vertices and blank flat surfaces. Vertices is a new vocabulary word. Okay, vertices is where, just like our corners, where the 2 sides meet, our vertices is where the 2 points meet. So I have a tissue box right here. This is known as a cube. It is 3D. So to help us count those flat surfaces and those vertices, I'm going to be using this today. So a cube has how many vertices? Let's count. Well, I know there is 1, 2, 3, 4 on the top. And if I turn it over to the bottom, there's 4 more on the bottom. So 4 plus 4 equals what? 4 plus 4 equals 8. That's great. So cubes have 8 vertices. Now we have to count the flat surfaces. And flat surfaces, easy, the surfaces that are flat. So let's count have one on top, and I have one on the bottom. 1, 2. Now let's count our sides. 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 flat surfaces on a cube. All right, these are going to be a little bit tougher to draw because you can't see what's behind this cube. So let's just do our best to freehand these cubes. The first thing I want you to do is that we're going to draw this flat surface right here. This flat surface is a regular square that we're pretty used to drawing. So start right here at the top of your square, draw your line across, going down, across the bottom, and meet at the top. Now what we're going to do is we're going to draw the 3D effect at the top. Here's how I would do it. I would start at this corner, or this vertice. I would angle it up, across the top. I would go down, and meet at the bottom. And now we're just going to fill in that 3D effect right there. All right, are you ready to try it on our own? Again, do your best. Let's do just like we did with our tracing, and we're going to draw that square first. Draw it down just a little bit because you know you're going to have to bring that 3D effect up here. So, with your ruler, let's draw our first line across the top. Down, across the bottom, and up to the top. Remember, you're just making a square right now. Once you have your square, now it's time to throw in that 3D effect. Just like when we traced it, we're going to angle it out. We're going to draw this straight line across. We're going to bring this, okay, so this line has to be further out than your square. So make sure it comes out just a little bit more than your square. Now let's bring that line all the way down. Whoops, I went too far. Stopping just a little bit before your point because we need to angle this in. So if you made a mistake just like I did, quickly erase it. And you're going to take this corner right here, or this vertex, and you're going to angle it in. Now we can draw this 3D effect from this vertex up to our top vertex. And I'm just going to do a dotted line like that. So far so good? All right. I know we're moving a little bit fast, but if you have time later on, you can go back and try to redraw these if you're not very happy with your first one. Let's move on to our next 3D shape. Our next 3D shape is going to be a cylinder. Cylinders have blank vertices and blank flat surfaces. So I have an example of a cylinder as well. First we need to look and see if they have any vertices. Remember, vertices was where those two sides meet, or those two lines meet. So, taking a look at this right now, do you see any points on our cylinder? No, me neither. We have a circle, and we know that circles don't have any vertices or angles or points. So, cylinders have 0 vertices. There are no points on this shape. Now we need to count the flat surfaces. Be careful with this one. You need to look at all parts of this shape. I don't see any flat surfaces around the sides, but if you turn it to the bottom or you look at the top, you can see that this is one flat surface. There's one on the bottom and there's one on the top. So a cylinder has 2 flat surfaces. Fill in your blank for that, and then we'll get started with our tracing. To start our cylinder, we are going to draw a kind of like an oval shape at the top. This is going to be our first flat surface. So, starting at this point, go ahead and draw and trace that oval at the top. And now we're going to bring our sides down. Bring your other side down. And then this is kind of like a curvy shape. Okay, so you got to make sure it's not straight across. We need a little bit of curve to it. Because this is a circle, and we see that a circle has a curve on it. So starting at your point, do just a little bit dip like they did, and meet to the other side. Now it's our turn. At the top, just like we traced, we need to draw a little oval. Just like that. Now we're going to start at this side, and we're going to bring a straight line down for our sides. So you're going to meet at the very tip of your oval right there, bring in a straight line down. Go to the other tip of your oval at the top and bring a straight line down. And now like we did in tracing, make sure that you're given just a little bit of a smiley curve down here. Not too big, just a little bit. So go ahead and meet those two sides right there with a little bit of a curve. And that's your cylinder. Okay, the next shape is a fun one. You guys might know what this is. I'm sure you've had an ice cream cone before. This shape, our other 3D shape, is called a cone. And we need to find out how many vertices and how many flat surfaces a cone has. So, Mr. Dusky made this beautiful little cone right here for us to look at. Now, let's count our vertices first. Remember, vertices are our points. So, does this shape have any points on it? I don't see one at the flat or the top here, but if you go down to the bottom where all those sides meet down here at the point, this is going to be our one vertice that a cone has. So just like you see up here, we have one vertice. And how many flat surfaces do we have? Well, we got one right here. So we have one flat surface. Let's give this one a try. I think what I would do if I were drawing a cone was to draw this oval at the bottom like we did on the cylinder. So the first thing you want to do is start at the bottom and trace that oval right here. That way it's a little bit easier to meet at the top for our vertice. So come over here, draw a line all the way up. Start at your other end and draw a line all the way up, meeting at that point right there. Now let's give it a try. Let's start at the bottom. We're going to draw an oval. Ooh. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take each one of these sides and draw a line up to the top to make a point or a vertice. So you can start over here. You can just do the length of the ruler, would probably be the easiest. So starting right here in the middle, go ahead and draw an angled line up. Pick your ruler up and then start over here on the other side. Starting in the middle of your oval, you're going to kind of match up your ruler to make sure that when you're drawing all the way up, your points are going to meet.
Put your shape books back in your boxes and we will finish them a little later. Today you learned how to create 2D and 3D shapes using their attributes.